Hey everybody, my name's Haley and I'm here with my friend Johnny.
What's up?
And today we're going to be discussing our thoughts on the new Aladdin movie. So it's pretty well known, the story of Aladdin. We all grew up watching the cartoon, right, Johnny?
Yep.
And this year, 2020, right, is when the new Aladdin came out?
I'm pretty sure, or it was last year.
Or 2019 maybe. And so there were a few different things in this new version, but overall, I would say they did a great job of conserving the things we love about Aladdin while adding their own little twist. What do you think?
I kind of noticed that they kind of skipped over some important parts, like how does Jafar know that Aladdin can enter the Cave of Wonders? Did you ever notice that?
I never noticed that, but now that you say that, yeah, that is kind of an important part. Yeah. Another part that I thought was interesting was Jasmine's role in the movie, that she, in fact, wants to become Sultan, whereas in the first movie, that wasn't even really an option. I think that was a great addition, and I really liked her song Speechless that they added, and just her willingness to serve her country and be brave enough to stand up to Jafar herself.
If I had any criticism, it's the final battle. Because in the original movie, we had Aladdin in a fast-paced battle, like battling a giant Jafar snake. If anyone remembered, he had to use a diamond as a skateboard. And while Jafar chased him as a snake, Jafar hits the wall, and Aladdin jumps onto Jafar and stabs him with a sword. That was a pretty awesome scene to watch. In this new version, all he did was make Iago a little bigger, and Iago just crashed into a bunch of buildings. Other than that, all Jafar did was just hold Aladdin and the others still. It's pretty underwhelming considering what animated Jafar did. What do you think?
Yeah, I did notice that difference in the end. I did think it was cool that Jasmine had more of a role in that. In the first one, she's actually trapped by Jafar in what is that called? Hourglass?
Yeah.
But in this one, she plays more of a role with Aladdin running away from the big bird and all that stuff. So I thought that was interesting. I also liked that they kept Abu in it, because in the Broadway rendition of Aladdin, Abu isn't in it at all. So I was happy to see that, and I was glad that they kept it a musical, because in some of the newer renditions of Disney movies, they don't make it a musical. They cut out the music, like in the new Mulan. So I really enjoyed that they kept that aspect of it.
If there's any song I had to give high praise for, it's A Friend Like Me. It's not exactly like the original, but it's good in its own ways. How about you?
Yeah, let's talk about Will Smith for a second, because I think just him in general, stepping into a role that is so monumental and loved by everyone, you really can't fill Robin Williams' shoes. He was the original genie, and Will Smith didn't try to copy him, made it his own little twist, but just did such a good job. And I think if Robin Williams was still alive today, he would have been happy with that performance. I think my favorite song of Will Smith's is Prince Ali, when they're coming into the city, and it has a different twist on it that's more modern music, and I like how he includes the Sultan in the song, and the Sultan kind of leads them into the beat drop there.
Actually, the Sultan was kind of in the original. He was kind of part of the song. When they burst into the palace, Ginny starts dancing with the Sultan, calling his daughter beautiful, and the Sultan, I believe, when comparing the two, it's pretty much the same amount of time, when it comes to the Sultan being a part of the song.
Okay, yeah, that's right, I forgot about that. Yeah, but I just think Will Smith did such a great job. He's probably one of my favorite parts of the whole movie.
And again, but again, like, let's see, what else can I say? One other thing I thought was smart was how they incorporate the magic carpet. Jafar apparently did according to, like, Aladdin's history, Jafar knew about the Cave of Wonders and the lamp inside and their treasures, but he didn't know about the magic carpet too, which is weird. In the new movie, when he saw the magic carpet, he did know about it and used that as a test. Like in the original, when he tried to join Aladdin, it was just to get rid of him. But in the new version, it was to test him to see if he had a genie.
Yeah.
Like, it was weird. Like, I thought that was actually a pretty good idea. How when they saw the carpet, they're like, that's also in the Cave of Wonders. Because if a Jafar in the original movie also did research, like he said like according to like it's implied he did, then he should have known about the magic flying carpet. So yeah, I think it makes sense in this new one that Jafar would, after seeing the magic carpet, they'll turn that scene where he tried to join Aladdin into a test, like saying if he survives, he obviously used the genie. If he dies, then he's rid of him. A win-win. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true, and it made me think of another point about Jafar that's new in this movie, is that he himself was a street rat at one point. He has a moment with Aladdin where he steals back Jasmine's bracelet or something like that, and he says, I started as a street rat too. And so he started as a common thief and worked his way up, which honestly might explain some of the hatred that he has for Aladdin, because in the first one, obviously he's the bad guy, but we don't really know why he hates Aladdin other than the fact that he was swallowed by the cave and ended up with the genie, you know? But Aladdin being so similar to his past self might have triggered some childhood trauma maybe that brought up memories, because he doesn't want people to know he's a street rat, and he doesn't want to remember really that part of his life. So having Aladdin around probably isn't very fun for him. What do you think?
Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I think that this movie really had a lot of different elements to it as well, you know. Jasmine's mother is mentioned several times, and I don't think she was mentioned in the first one at all, was she?
I think they just mentioned her dying like most Disney princesses, but that's all.
Yeah, in this one she's mentioned several more times, and Jasmine even wears the bracelet. Another aspect I really liked about this was her handmaid. Do you remember her name?
No, but I do like how this new character was handled. How about you?
Yeah, I thought that was an excellent addition for kind of a little comedy break in some of the intense scenes, and I loved that she ended up with Genie, because in the first one it is so happy that Genie is set free, but in this case he's set free and he gets his happily ever after with his princess and 2 kids we see.
And what I thought was really interesting was that the genie is the one to start the story, because originally in the animated movie, that was the idea. He was going to be the merchant seller, the guy who sang the song in the beginning. Like, the way the genie sang this, like, started the movie with a song from the original movie, that started the movie. That was the original idea. That merchant seller, if you look at the deleted scene, it'll turn out he was a merchant seller. Like, if you look at his clothes, you notice that they're red and blue, which is the color scheme Genie always goes with. Probably because for some reason he can't get rid of those colors. So yeah, having him be the storyteller since they couldn't do it last time, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, it sounds like that's a little more accurate anyways. Do we know, in the first one, the guy that was supposed to be the genie telling the story at the beginning, was that Robin Williams' voice?
I didn't really check, but yeah, he was supposed to be the genie in disguise.
Yeah.
And I think that does make sense, because how does he know about the story of Aladdin and Jasmine? And how did he get his hands on the lamp? That's something that they never answered in the movie. So, yeah. And then it would have made sense if they kept it the genie. But instead, so yeah, I do like that. I think maybe it's a reference. Having the genie be a storyteller is like a reference to the original idea.
Okay. The only question that I have about that is that if it was supposed to be Genie in disguise, Genie at that point would have been freed, right? He's looking back and telling the story. So why doesn't that merchant look like him in the face?
Remember, you can change his appearance, but as a little hint, remember you can't change some of the colors of his clothes. He has blue pants and a red belt, and every time he transforms into something, he's got red or blue on him somewhere.
Okay, so even when Genie is freed, does he keep his powers?
Yeah, he just loses the shackles.
Okay, I did not know that. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so in the new one, since he has his family on the boat and stuff now, do you think he still uses his magic, and how do you think he uses it?
Oh, in this new one, they heavily imply that he's now human and does not have magic.
Okay, so maybe in the new one, when he's freed, he just becomes a normal human?
Yeah.
Okay. That's very interesting. I would believe that. And do you think that he's happier human than he was as a genie?
To me, he always seems happy no matter what the situation is, as long as he has his freedom. That is the biggest theme in Aladdin, freedom.
Huh. That's interesting.
Aladdin wanted it, Jasmine wanted it, and the genie wanted it.
Oh, I never noticed that. What about the Sultan? Do you think he kind of wanted that?
He just wanted what was best for his daughter.
Yeah.
The Sultan was content with his life. He really had nothing to complain about. He just wanted his daughter to be happy.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. So, thinking about Genie's past, so we see the Sultan become a genie at the end, right? Do you think that is how Genie became a genie? That he wished to become one?
What do you mean? I don't remember the Sultan become a genie.
Remember at the end of the movie they trick the Sultan, or not the Sultan, sorry, Jafar becomes a genie. Do you think that Genie became a genie that way?
I'm not sure, but funny thing, they were going to do an origin movie. Originally, there was going to be, before Aladdin, they were planning on doing an origin movie for the genie. But apparently, from what I understand, they scrapped that idea and just went with a remake of Aladdin.
Oh, that's kind of disappointing. I would love to hear about Genie's origin, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because believe it or not, there was another genie, a ring genie. Instead of a lamp, it comes out of a ring somehow.
Really?
Yep, so I was wondering if they were going to incorporate that into the origin of the genie.
Yeah, that would be really interesting. I think Disney would do well if they followed through with that idea, even if it came out as a cartoon or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, well, any other thoughts about this movie? What was your final impression?
So far, I'm guessing the best out of the remakes, but it's not saying much considering what we got in the past.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Alright, everybody, well, that's about it for audio. Thanks for listening.